A friend of mine recently said to me, God will have her way. God will have her way. I've always believed in God, but I've also thought that belief was my choice. I was raised outside of the church. My Catholic grandparents took me to church, but no one else in my family practiced any kind of faith. And then God called me to faith. Lord, I don't want to be Christian. Those people are judgmental and hypocritical. But God will have her way. When I was 27, married with 2 young children, I suffered simultaneous tragedies. My grandpa died, and my husband and I declared bankruptcy. My heart was broken, and I was so afraid. That Sunday, I went to the Catholic Church. During a pause in the Lord's Prayer, the priest said, "Keep us free from fear and all anxiety." And I thought, yes, that's what I want. I entered baptism preparation and was baptized at the Easter Vigil. And then God called me to ministry. Lord, I don't want to do ministry. That is not a good career. I am female and I am lay. But God will have her way. I attended classes and got involved in ministries. I couldn't get enough of all things religious. When a position opened up for a children's religious education coordinator, I jumped on it. As I grew in experience and education, I was called into roles with greater and greater responsibility. Adult education minister, lobbyist for the Catholic Church, and eventually serving on the bishop's staff. I loved ministry, but I was reminded every day that I was lay. And then God called me to ordained ministry. Lord, I don't want that. I am female and I am lay. They don't respect your call. They don't want me. But God will have her way. My soul longed to preach. I couldn't preach on Sundays, but I could write and I could speak. I wrote a book. I spoke and led retreats. And as I walked the exhibit halls of a national conference, a book grabbed me, Introduction to the Homily. It couldn't hurt to read about it, I figured. At the end of the book was a suggested weekly timeline for developing a homily. Could I even write a homily? So I chose a week and followed the process. That weekend was the parish campout. I took my homily to share with a friend. The old retired priest arrived and we got ready for Mass. He looked at me and said, the homily. I haven't even looked at the readings. Do you have anything ready? God had her way. That Sunday, in the Idaho mountains, I preached the first homily I ever wrote. And I tasted something so core to who I was. But I could not eat. I was lay and I was female. I could never be ordained. I lived hungry. God would not have her way this time. Years of heartbreak. I knew that God was calling me to ordained ministry, but that meant leaving a church I loved. Why would God do that to me? Why would God lead me to a church and then give me a calling that left me starving? Lord, I don't want to leave the Catholic Church, people who I love. It's too painful. Forget it. I am done with ministry. But God will have her way. I stayed away from ministry, but I couldn't stay away from church, and the voice wouldn't stay quiet. I gave retreats, continued speaking, and wrote and wrote. An old friend from the Boise Catholic Worker said to me one day, "I don't know why you don't become an Episcopal priest." I had already fallen in love with Lutheran theology. It was time. Finally, I went to a Lutheran church, and I found God there. I found new people to love, and I found freedom to follow God's call, finally. Today I serve on internship, preaching, presiding, teaching, and loving these Lutheran people. In the end, perhaps my friend is right. God will have her way.